The following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Television, radio, internet, the world. Welcome to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Damian Nelson here with you live on Monday, March 21st, 2011, alongside the Kaz and David Octavius, the Tiberius Hero, and the social media diva, Linda Kay. How y'all doing tonight?
Fantastic.
I don't know, man. That Raw almost put me to sleep.
Have you heard the news?
You're leaving today?
No. That starts spreading the news. That starts spreading the news. I have a major announcement tonight.
Oh, please, let's hear this one.
It's history changing.
Is it?
Oh, it will be. Stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
That wasn't in the notes. Yeah, that wasn't in the,
because YouTube would spoil it. You go on the internet and, talk to people about it and put it on your little blogs.
I never spoil anything.
We're going to talk about TNA Impact from last week, as it was a noteworthy and eventful show. Obviously, WWE Raw tonight. We're going to be taking your phone calls as well at here in southeastern Wisconsin, 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776. We're also taking your texts. You can go ahead. The lines are full already for the phone line, but we can take your texts. And what's the number again, Linda? You've got all the digits over there.
I have the digits. The phone.
How many texts
she
did
always
you get?
gets digits, doesn't she?
How many texts with a T did you get last week? After we told everybody it came to your phone.
Oh.
I know there were a couple of pictures.
Yeah, too many to count. I don't know. Some of those pictures I can't really discuss.
You still got them, though, right?
Yes, I do. All right, the text line, you guys.
Frank, quit texting.
He's texting right now.
Making sure it works.
The text line is 414-219-9125. Again, 414-219-9125.
Raw reminded me of Impact.
What?
A lot of talking tonight. Not much wrestling.
Are you that fan? Do you watch? We talked about this last week. Do you watch these shows for wrestling? You're tuning in to Raw to see a great match?
It's called pro wrestling, isn't it?
We'll talk about that later because WWE has made a fool of itself in regards to that. At least one of their publicists did recently. Just saying. And I've got a history-changing announcement. Woo! Just like The Miz did tonight.
Yeah, that was great.
Will you stop?
It wasn't fun. No one liked it except you.
We're going to do something a little different tonight because you're sitting there talking about you're sitting there talking about what the people think out there. No one liked it except me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the phones straight away, old chap. We're going to go to Georgia, the site of WrestleMania 27, coming up in 12 days now, 13 days,
13
something like
days.
that. Let's go to Antoine on line one. Antoine, you're live.
Hello.
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 Hey, guys, Georgia, we are ready for you guys to get down here in Hotlanta.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the grits. They don't have grits up here in Milwaukee.
They have them. You just don't know where to go.
Yeah, the weather's great down here. We're ready for you.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Are you going to be coming to Stats for the PWR WrestleMania party Saturday, April 2nd from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.? It's free, you know.
Yeah, I will be there.
Awesome. Antoine, what did you think of WWE Raw tonight on the USA Network?
It's awesome that the road to WrestleMania, like you said earlier, it seemed like the Raw kind of put me to sleep also. And I'm wondering, can they go ahead and build up with another week left going into Mania? And do you think that they can make John Cena, The Miz, and The Rock happen this close to WrestleMania?
John Cena, The Miz, and The Rock. Can it happen? Antoine in Georgia, thank you very much for that call.
Dave 1, Damian 0.
Antoine wants to know if they could make The Miz, John Cena, and The Rock happen. Certainly not before WrestleMania.
Well, it's not going to happen at WrestleMania
this year.
Raw is going to be humongous next week.
Right.
Taker.
Hugh Morris is coming back?
H. Yeah, he'll be there to promote Tough Enough. Rocky, Cena. I mean,
star-studded program.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, of course, and they're going to continue the whole Lawler Cole. Chicago's always
It's a good crowd.
It's always a hot crowd.
I can't wait to get out of that building.
Oh, come on now. You love that building.
They still call it the Rosemont?
No, it's the Allstate Arena, and while it is one of the top-grossing venues in the country, actually, man, it's just not a very good experience.
That's because you've been asked to leave too many times.
Really?
It's common
Not to be discussed.
It's been all for YouTube.
Let's go to Iowa. Another caller. Again, we're taking your phone calls 414-276-3776 or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN 3776. Trina in Iowa on line 2. Your thoughts of WWE Raw tonight?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, Trina.
Fantastic.
Well, I'm on a 50-50. Raw was kind of good for me, but at the end it kind of died for me.
At the end, it kind of died for you. Aren't you a Cena fan? Isn't that the best thing of the whole night? John Cena coming back, saving the day, saving the show?
Do I hear a bit of cynical in your voice?
That was just a question. I'm the host of the year, you know, so I asked the pressing questions that need to be asked.
It was cool, but the Miz just fell flat. I'm like, really? That was the big thing? Really?
I'm sorry, my headphones went out. John Cena fell flat, you said? Yeah, on his face at the hands of A-Rai and the Miz.
Not this week, amigo.
Not this week.
Oh, okay, can I bring up one thing? You talk about how Cena came back from being fired.
One thing.
Yeah?
How can...
Hello?
Trina?
Hello, I'm here. How can,
Trina, can you turn down your radio, please?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Dave loves hearing himself, but we can hear you loud and clear now, yes.
But weren't you the one complaining how Cena came back for being fired, but guess who came back? Now he's VP of...
He's the VP of Corporate Communications. He's got an office job now. What's
So are you saying he's the head guy in charge of The Miz?
That's how he's saying it. He's vice president.
So, Trina, you go 50-50 for Raw tonight. Entertaining, but not as entertaining.
It didn't end how it began. Like, it gave you the feeling like WrestleMania is here. This year, I'm so excited for WrestleMania. Last year fell flat, but this year, I feel like it's WrestleMania now.
You're going to feel it next week, because next week's show is going to be just outstanding. At least.
Oh.
Wait a minute, though. And Trina, thank you very much for the call. There have been so many great weeks on Raw. I mean, from the epic return of JBL to the moderately successful return of The Rock.
Lately? That's what it comes down to. Yeah,
the air went out of the balloon at the end of this show. So it can only get better next week.
Did you see the front row just watching with no enthusiasm at all?
The difference between the last 2 weeks of Raw and this week on Raw was the man who ended the show.
The same guy ended the show.
No, he didn't. The Miz ended the last 2 weeks, pal.
And he did this week also.
No, John Cena did. Stop. I'm not. I can't do this week. I've got a major announcement later on. I'm changing history, and I'm not prepared mentally to deal with your semantics and your circular talk and your elephant.
I'm fair and balanced. It's that simple.
We're going to continue
taking
your phone calls. Did you work with
Glenn Beck yet?
We have issues. Travel.
Yeah, him getting canceled.
All right, guys, we've got a text message in from the 206.
Ooh, SMS?
What does that stand for?
I don't know.
All right, it says, Raw was so boring, I set the alarm on my phone so I could get a nap in and wake back up to listen to the one and only PWR show. How about that, fellas?
Good. You know, but back to the point again, and we appreciate that for sure. Is your favorite football team's game great every week? Is your favorite baseball team's game great every day? Is your favorite basketball? And so on and so on. WWE, TNA, wrestling can't please everybody every week. I didn't think Raw was horrible tonight.
Come on.
But the bar it's being measured against.
Right.
When did you become an apologist?
Well, after you relinquished the title. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're still apologizing for all things TNA, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to admit, Damien, though, the end of Raw was a little flat.
It was a lot flat.
There
I'm
we
not
go.
defending Raw.
Okay.
I'm not defending
Why
Raw.
are you raising your voice? Easy, champ.
I'm not defending Raw. All I'm saying is it can't be a home run every week. Were the last 2 weeks better? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Was tonight a failure?
Yeah,
no,
just The Rock
no way.
wasn't on tonight.
You're just upset because of Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton.
Oh, that was ridiculous. There's no reason for it. How did that help either guy in their cause
Nothing.
to build their matches at Mania?
Well, I tried with the whole bus thing, but the match itself.
And Randy Orton's wife, if that's his wife, needs to go to acting classes. Because that was the worst bit of business I've seen in a long time. She opens the door and screams as a guy that just smacked her husband with a monkey with a wrench.
She was in shock. She didn't know what to do.
Any woman that has their child on board of a bus will lock it and run to the back of the bus and call for help, not keep it open and to
Run where?
invite the guy in. The back of the bus, where it's safer.
Let's talk about Raw in the order in which it happened tonight. First, we get...
Kaz has a bus. Isn't that where you run to, is the back?
Let's put this in
I'm not
park.
going there, man.
Put it in park. Just leave it there.
Yes.
So, Raw opens with good old JR's music. You thought it was possible. You thought it was going to happen. JR was back. Take a throne at ringside, but that would not be the case because Michael Cole came out dressed like good old JR, and actually, as he entered the coal mine, had his own security this week. I got to say this. 2 weeks in a row now, Michael Cole and that whole thing between he and Lawler being given one of the top spots on the show, the 9 o'clock hour or the midpoint hour. And you got to give credit where credit's due. I, for one, am intrigued not by any of the physicality we're going to see in this matchup, but the story has been very well developed. And by the way, this story began months ago, and it culminates at WrestleMania. Remember that? Those were the days. And this is one of those few angles that actually has some solid build to it. So is it true or is it not true, in your opinions, that Michael Cole deserves a ton of credit for the transition of his character and to make this match or this situation intriguing going into WrestleMania?
Cole has done a fantastic job. The only problem I have with this is when it ends at WrestleMania, in my opinion, now what?
Where does it go? Where do these guys go?
The only way it could continue if Cole wins and then he can keep it for a couple more weeks. I don't see that happening.
Cole's going to have to apologize.
He apologized tonight.
No, but sincere apology.
And then, in my opinion, what they should do is figure out this whole GM thing out after that. Because that's 15 minutes is up.
David Hero, Michael Cole, does he deserve credit for transitioning into what has become a very, very well executed heel role?
It's a shame when the top heel in the company...
Not famous.
It's a shame when the top heel in the company is your announcer.
Top heel.
Yeah.
Bigger of a heel than CM Punk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wade Barrett in the core.
Absolutely.
Del Rio?
Absolutely.
Vicky Guerrero?
On both Raw and SmackDown, Michael Cole is the biggest antagonist. He is the top heel on both brands. And
tonight, proving that again by, ending or calling for an early end to the Divas matchup, which, again, it's effective. Like it or not, it's very effective. And then, showing the family pictures of Jerry Lawler's father.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why?
Saying it's a family of losers.
No, I get that, but they didn't have to show the pictures. I mean...
it made them kind of look funny. They tried.
I'm not sure that segment was needed at all tonight, to be honest with you. Last week was so well executed, especially with JR coming back, was so well executed that I think they were in a good place. I don't understand why it was given, A, so much time, and B, that top spot on the show. Now, as far as I can recall, that was one of the top-rated segments last week on Raw, the Cole Lawler JR.
Well, that's because of Grandmaster. Banging it.
Well, I think he deserves some credit for where he has gone, but I question what happens on April 4th. I question how Michael Cole gets put back into his place after this whole thing.
You know what I can see happening?
What can you see happening?
I can see Lawler pile driving Michael Cole, a la Andy Kaufman, and breaking his neck, and taking him off TV for a month.
And then he puts the neck brace on and says, I'm going to sue you.
You
and all
can't
that.
touch me. Don't get near me. Blah, 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 the whole thing.
I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so many more happenings on Raw tonight. We're taking your tweets. Our Twitter name is PWR Show. And we got a lot of comments on Facebook. What's that address, Linda?
Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
We're going to be reading a lot of people's comments about WWE Raw tonight and so much more. Michael Cole is on Twitter, by the way. Is that what you two are doing as well?
I'm texting him right now.
I'm following him.
God, I'm texting him right now.
You're texting him on Twitter.
You tweet on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I was just seeing if you guys were listening.
It'll be fine.
We're going to take a time out. And remember, you guys are picking the music tonight, and you're doing so on our Facebook page. As you heard a moment ago, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report. Who knows what we're going to come back with, but you are picking it. You can go there now and post your comment as to what theme song from wrestling you'd like to hear. When we come back, we're going to go to Jacob in Michigan, Michael in Iowa, and Dwayne in Detroit. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head?
Tremendous. Courtesy of CM Punk tonight. Welcome back to PWR Radio. I was going to say WWE Raw. Welcome back. And CM Punk saying to Randy Orton tonight, well, ain't that a kick in the head? Well, how could we not play this?
Absolutely.
I'm here along with, you may not know because they're not talking, I'm here along with the Cos, Frank Costantino, and David Octavius Tiberius
I'm giving
Hero.
you your moments right now.
Kaz was singing. I heard him singing with you.
I'm not going to sing.
And Linda Kay, the social media diva. Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report. We're going to take your phone calls, and you can get in on the action. The number 414-276-ESPN, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN. We're talking about WWE Raw. Still to come, I have a major announcement, a history-changing announcement, and the review of last week's TNA Impact. And what did a WWE publicist do that's got the Internet all abuzz? All that and so much more here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Linda, anything good going on out in the social media world?
That's a lot of comments on how tonight's Raw was a big letdown. But we're hearing a lot from our fans tonight, so what's next that happened on Raw that we're talking next? So got a lot of comments.
Triple H is back. Triple H comes out on Raw tonight, and David Hero, you're still thinking, yes or no, that he's going to put his career on the line at Mania? He teased that and hinted at it a bit tonight, and I think came close to saying it a few times. Said he's going to be face-to-face with The Undertaker next Monday night in Chi-Town, Chicago, and that he will, at all costs, make it 18-1 this year at WrestleMania, and he did so with confidence and swagger, if you will, that really shows that I think he believes his own hype. So much so that Ted DiBiase came out and said, hey, I had a spot on Mania last year. Where's my spot? I'm going to earn it. He wants a match with Triple H. Well, before anything can happen, Triple H is destroying him and pedigreeing him through the announce table.
What a shame. I mean, I don't think it'll be a career versus streak match anymore. He already has the match.
Right.
Why make that a stipulation now?
I could see them bringing it up next week.
But
like The Undertaker,
Triple H is going to put his career on the line. You'd think he would have built it up more than just,
well, they still
a week
have,
out.
I could see The Undertaker saying, you think you're going to beat me? Put your career on the line. Something like that.
I don't know. It's Triple H. I mean, come on. He's set for life anyhow. He married right.
Let's go back to the
Married
phone,
love,
and let's go to Dwayne in Detroit on line 3. Dwayne, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
What's going on, fellas?
It's a great night here in the MKE.
I didn't get to see all the Raw. I got off work kind of late, so I caught, like, the tail end of it when CM Punk attacking Randy Orton. But I think that is going to be the best match of the night.
CM Punk and Randy Orton?
Yes.
What excites you about it?
Just the whole angle, the way it's playing out, it's far more entertaining than The Miz and Cena and The Rock, and far more entertaining. I mean, it just seems more, put together.
It does. I mean, the storyline's right there.
But there's no emotional investment, though, in the match.
Really? Just from you, or do you think from fans in general?
Okay, from me. There's no investment in Cena and The Miz.
No, it's not.
We're talking about Punk and Orton, I thought.
Right, but I'm just saying you start at the top. You go Cena and The Miz. Okay, Punk and Orton. Even go. There's more emotional investment in Cole and Lawler than any other match on the entire pay-per-view.
You think about it. This is what I do. I always think, okay, if CM Punk wins, you can still build him up, right?
Build up who?
CM Punk.
Well, if he wins, he's made.
Right.
He beats one of the top guys on the biggest show of the year.
He loses. In the last 3 or 4 weeks, with the whole his whole group basically been punted.
Ain't that a kick in the head?
Do you know what this match reminds me of? Now that I think
about it.
What
does it remind you of, David?
WrestleMania 3, Honky Tonk Man versus Jake Roberts.
Alex Cooper and Jimmy Hart as well?
Yeah. Where no one really thought Honky Tonk Man had a chance in hell to beat Jake the Snake Roberts, and he did. And I see Randy Orton being Jake and CM Punk being Honky Tonk Man. I mean, if they really want to build CM Punk, okay, now his new nexus, none of them are going to be at ringside. And for him to beat Randy Orton that way makes him a star.
Right.
All right, well, Dwayne out in Detroit, thank you very much for that call. Talking about WWE Raw. Mixed reviews so far from not only the panel, but from all of you out there in the wrestling world. When another match was made for WrestleMania 27, Sheamus will be defending his newly found United States of America championship against the former champion, Daniel Bryan Danielson. I'm liking it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I do, too. I mean, good for both guys.
Right.
I mean, I think it has potential to be one of the better matches on the show. I mean, Daniel Bryan Danielson, DVD, he's a hell of a worker.
Yeah.
Sheamus is the big, strong, powerful guy.
Sheamus, who had a match last year with Triple H, Bryan Danielson, who was not a part of WrestleMania last year.
I think it's
just sort of interesting to look at the evolution of people. Oh, by the way, in the opening match last year at WrestleMania, at least on the broadcast, was one half of the tag team champions and at the time the United States champion, The Miz, going up against, it didn't matter, but it was Morrison and R-Truth. And now, look at who's in the main event just 1 year later, the Journey of a Miz.
Yeah, just kind of like how when John Cena was the U.S. champ and opened up against WrestleMania with the Big Show at WrestleMania 20.
They didn't open it.
Yeah, he did.
Opening contest. Yeah. Scheduled for one fall.
Absolutely. First match, WrestleMania 20.
Well, it was 20.
What's the difference if it's 3, 6,
I don't know.
9,
You'd find
20?
a difference.
I wouldn't.
That would be your retort. Oh, well, I'm
Madison
WrestleMania
Square
20.
Garden.
All right, well, thank you very much for that call, Dwayne, out in Detroit, the Motor City, which we did a minute ago. I lost my place there. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 27. I like that. And actually, when you look at the card overall, WrestleMania, I think, is shaping up to be a very well-rounded card. And we're actually going to break it down match by match next week. Every day, Kaz, a brand new episode of Be the Booker as we look at WrestleMania and in segments, because it is the biggest show of the year, obviously. And, David Hero, I think you've got your work cut out for you in some cases. Now, you've already said what your opinion is on the matchup for the WWE Championship, but you may have to pick two people who you said would never get anywhere in this business and never be anything.
Whoa. I never said that. We're not talking about the Pope and TNA. We're talking about the WWE.
Cody Rhodes. You may have to pick him over Rey Mysterio.
Why? I'm booking it. I decide that'll be a squash. That will break King Kong Bundy's record for quickest WrestleMania pinfall. When
you think Ray's going to lose that fast?
No, Ray's going to beat Cody. There's no way Cody beats Ray.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we tend to disagree on things, I tend to be right. I'm just saying.
Oh, please.
I'm just saying.
On what?
Well, The Miz.
Okay,
Well,
I
Cody Rhodes.
I will give you the Miz. What has Cody Rhodes done?
He's got a match at WrestleMania against Rey Mysterio, a former world
Okay.
heavyweight or world champion.
Yes. And?
He's no longer dashing.
Well, that's his own fault.
That's what Cody Rhodes has done. I don't like your, who's he beat? What's he done?
Who's he beat? Really?
Sheamus beat.
Who's the Miz beat? Sheamus. He beat John Cena.
So did The Miz.
Not for the world championship.
See? There it is.
The big difference.
But he beat him. Did Sheamus beat Cena for the world championship?
Sheamus, yeah, did beat Cena.
Oh, at the time, it was only because the table broke. Cena didn't lose. That's what you said.
You know, you're all
paper.
about the details.
That's where the devil resides. Let's go to Jacob, who's also in Michigan, waiting on line one. Jacob, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello, everybody here at the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello, Jacob. What did you think of WWE Raw tonight?
I don't know. It was all right, but you got to expect sometime some Raw on the road to WrestleMania is going to be a little blah. I mean, they've been building their Raws so well that there had to be a flop kind of somewhere.
Yeah, so do it 2 weeks out. You know?
See, no, that's where we're different. I expect a good show every week. I'm not waiting for a flop, so I was disappointed.
Well, I'm not saying I wanted a flop either, but I mean, I just kind of expected it.
Okay.
Kudos also to the opening with that kick in the head, by the way.
Yeah. Any opportunity we have to have a Rat Pack member sing on this program, we will not pass up. Frank's pretty much made, you know.
Kiss the ring, huh?
Is that your pickup line?
Huh?
Nothing.
Jacob, do you have anything else for us?
Yeah, if they were really going to do this whole Miz is going to change history, nothing against Miz, I guess, by the way, but if they were going to do that, why not just give him like a brand new championship instead of just saying, oh, we're going to take the championship and flip it?
It's the irony of it all. It's the irony of it all. If they had given Miz a brand new championship belt tonight, it would have solidified in most fans' minds that he would not lose at WrestleMania, that he would win at WrestleMania. While that is probably going to be the case, I don't think they want to make it so obvious.
Okay, I can see where you're going at with it.
Jacob out in Michigan, thank you very much for that call.
I don't get credit for that.
Get credit for what? Jacob out in Michigan?
No, I said that the Miz would beat John Cena.
Eventually you came around, yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying. I called it first.
Johnny come lately over there. That's what we'll call you.
That's how rumors start.
And the horse you rode in on. Let's go back to Iowa. Michael on line 2. Michael, you're live.
Oh.
Michael, we're tremendous. How are you tonight?
Good. You know, I got to say something to Mr. David Hero.
Got the Mr. part right.
You know, at WrestleMania, when The Miz beats John Cena,
I'm liking this.
I'm pretty sure you're going to have to buy some earmuffs or something, because you know Damien's going to be marking out and screaming, and you're going to have to do something to block out his complete Miz.
Call chloroform. He's going to put over his mouth.
Michael, I hope you don't have any need for any party favors or confetti over the next few months, because I've wiped out the entire Eastern Seaboard of their inventories for the party that we have planned for the first episode back in the TV studio after The Miz retains his championship at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, it's going to be bigger than JBL's first return to Raw when Pyro shot off for 10 minutes and it was the most epic entrance in the history of wrestling. This will be a celebration of celebrations. I'm going to celebrate more than a prince.
That's not true! So get your facts straight.
I'm just saying.
And you said it loud.
And clear. Well, Michael, thank you very much for that call. I'm not sure if David ever answered your question, by the way.
I did answer his question.
Chloroform.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only, of course.
Absolutely.
EPO. John Cena was via satellite tonight. A lot of people saw right through that, if you will, as John Cena would, as we said, be live later on the program. And several people pointing out that John Cena's been picking on The Rock for all these weeks for being via satellite, but tonight he wasn't. Now, when we initially thought that John Cena was going to be by satellite. We did post a question on our Facebook page as to what you were thinking about the fact that John Cena was live via satellite, and maybe there could have been a purple shirt that said, also loyalty, respect via satellite. But that wasn't the case because, as we said, John Cena actually showed up on Raw in the arena. And Linda, any of those comments worthy of repeating here on air?
Oh, something regarding Cena and final match here. This comment right here. Sorry, taking a minute here. All right. This comes from Jay De Lazoo saying that it actually was a solid show tonight that's hyped for WrestleMania. Also says, I'm going to be so conflicted during the WWE title match. I'm huge fans of both The Miz and John Cena. The question, though...
Cena doesn't have any fans.
I am a big Cena fan. The question, though, is how will The Rock be involved in the WWE match?
Oh, that'll be fine. So fine that we're going to take a timeout. And when we come back, more here on the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com and on Blog Talk Radio. Damian Nelson here along with the lovely social media diva Linda Kay, David Octavius, the Tiberius, the alleged Hall of Famer hero, and the Cos, Frank Constantino, who's having some technical difficulties over there again.
Wired up here.
You're going to knock something over if you're not careful.
It's like wires all over the place.
Well,
it's a tangled mess.
It is a studio. Hey, you know what? Of all our guys in the chat room and on Blog Talk, Linda Kay is in charge of that tonight. So now is your chance to have that one shot to ask her out. Absolutely. your best opening line. Use it tonight. See what happens.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, definitely a hash mark ooh la la.
The fans are picking the music, though. Who picked that on our Facebook page? Legion of Doom, little LOD.
That was Tom Chucky. Tom, thank you very much. And once again, everyone, you can just go on to Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report and leave us your comment on what theme you would like us to play.
I believe Tom is from the UK, and he's begging us to get over there.
Oh, I'm booked. You didn't know?
Seriously.
Was that the big news?
No. No, history changing. Yeah, I'm going to the UK.
And what's the new video you just uploaded?
It's y'all's reaction to the CM Punk and Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio segment.
Ah, well done. And, of course, that's at PWRshow.com.
Actually, it's at YouTube.com/MaxSports.
Oh.
Our YouTube page.
Well, if you give me the notes, the right way.
You're never getting the notes.
I never get the notes.
Let's go to more callers. James down in Houston on line 3. You're live.
Hey, guys. How's Milwaukee treating you guys tonight?
Doing well, James. Spectacular.
First off, I would like to wish you guys safe and happy travels to Atlanta next week. I hope you guys make it there and make it back in one piece.
It's the making it back part that might be a bit of a problem.
It always is.
Hopefully you guys will be fine. I have a couple quick things I wanted to get to. As for Raw tonight, I thought it was an okay show. It started off good and was kind of flat a little bit. As for me thinking that The Miz is going to beat John Cena, I don't know anymore because it's starting to shape up like how it was last year at WrestleMania 26, to where he was getting beat down by Batista and he got his retribution at WrestleMania 26. So, also the question that I had for Damian, I saw the vintage video that you did last week for PWR. You had the very first show that you posted. I actually went back to your YouTube page and I was looking at what you guys thought about WrestleManias, and it only went back to 22. And I just wanted to ask if it would be too much of a favor to try and upload all the ones from whenever you started from, back in '98.
It would be a bit of a challenge because that's on. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's this thing called tape. It's on this cassette thing.
I still have a VHS player. So,
oh, yeah, VHS. That's what they used to call it. Yeah, so we do have them in the archives, actually, but the archives are literally spread all over Wisconsin right now. But we might have a few of those shows that we can get uploaded, and those are fun to watch, by the way. I'm not marking out for myself, but those are fun to watch to look at how the business was at the time and what our thoughts were of those events. And we have been to every WrestleMania. One of us has, at least since WrestleMania 22, and we'll continue to do so each year. Looking forward to Miami, Florida next year. James down in Houston, thank you very much for that call. You know, to make Atlanta as successful as Phoenix was last year, Dave, I think all we need are a few people. Jose, Gloria, and Barbara.
As long as we have Gloria, we're set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gloria!
She saved you.
Let's go to Rob in New Jersey on line 1.
How are you guys?
Yeah, tremendous.
Hashmark tremendous?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Just those little things make PWR show one of the best shows of all time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to mark out.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Hey, guys. Hey, basically, I need to ask you about, like, this whole situation with Rock coming back. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I had tears in my eyes. I was on the floor thanking God Almighty. And I mean Ric Flair. Thank you. Basically, my question is, like, you know, obviously there's rumors going around, and I know you guys really don't listen to rumors, but
Dave does.
I bet he does. But like, what do you think about Rock, like, coming back as maybe not as full-time wrestler, but to do certain shows as, like, maybe just boosting some of the younger guys' talents? Like, I could see him working with Randy Orton. I could see him working with John Morrison. I could see him working with Ray Ray just for a little bit.
Are you serious?
He doesn't have that too much time, you know.
There's no way.
Come on, David. When there's a will, there's a way.
The Rock and Rey Mysterio?
Never say never in wrestling.
I'm saying, I guarantee that'll never happen in wrestling.
You guarantee.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that you back up those words. Damien, write this down.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not?
Wow.
Follow the advice of the galactically stupid.
Cuz.
No. Whoa, that was not me.
First of all, The Rock and Rey Mysterio will... Listen, The Rock, he's not going to put guys over. Why would he? He's going to come back, he's going to win. He's like the Hulk Hogan now of wrestling.
You can't see a Rock versus Rey mask for his mask?
Never. I mean, that's like Jack and the Beanstalk. Who's going to pay to watch that?
We want to apologize.
Bobby from New Jersey might.
Apologize to our last caller on behalf of the cause.
No way.
You get these new toys, Kaz, the new iPad, and look what you're doing. Yeah, I do.
It's all gone to your head, hasn't it?
Do your best Michael Cole apology, Kaz. Pretend you mean it.
Pretend it didn't happen because I didn't touch any buttons.
We're taking your phone calls. Dave and I are at 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-ESPN.
Hey, Dave Hero, we got a comment here on our podcast.
I love it when this happens.
Oh, of course. Pick on the khaki guy.
Okay, it comes from Johnson James saying...
The referee?
Possibly, I don't know. Okay, saying The Rock...
They're in the Blog Talk Radio chat room. It's moving fast.
The Rock said that at the Hall of Fame that he does or did want to face Rey Mysterio in a match. So
yeah, that was what?
True?
12 years ago.
Tried 2 or 3. Really?
What? It'll never happen.
It was kind of like when Bret Hart said, "I think it should take on El Dandy."
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
All right.
And who remembers stuff from the Hall of Fame speeches?
Everybody else,
I guess.
You're going to remember stuff this year. I mean, really, did you get your seat changed yet? Because I've smartened Cody up to all the stuff you've been saying about
I know.
him.
I still have a few others, and I don't find it very funny. But you know what? It'll be fine. It's okay. I'll be sitting there at the Hall of Fame with my Del Hero scarf on. I'm not concerned about him. He's 5'5". I'm 6'5". He could stand on his dad's shoulders, and I'd still be taller.
Just about time to go to Sports Center. But before we do, your summary thoughts on WWE Raw tonight. I know the tone has been, it's not been as good as past weeks. But overall, Kaz, your thoughts on the show.
Started good, ended pretty flat.
David Del Hero.
I was rather bored. It wasn't good, Damien. Come on, you know in your
So I'm not saying it was bad.
What was okay? Because you'll say the Miz. Take the Miz out of the equation.
No, it's not even about that.
What was the best part of Raw?
The best part of Raw tonight?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the best part of Raw tonight, there were two best parts in my opinion. I liked CM Punk and Randy Orton's interaction at the bus.
Okay.
I also liked the Cole and Lawler angle, or segment, just for what Cole said. The things Cole said.
You don't think that went long?
I think it went very long. But I liked
long.
it. I also thought the opening segment on Impact went long last week, but I liked it.
You loved the segment where Vicky was laying on top of Johnny Nitro and doing the Cougar
John
gimmick.
Morrison. Why are you stuck in the past?
I just made a mistake. That's all. Okay. John Morrison. See, I can admit when I'm wrong.
You got a lot of catching up to do. We're going to be taking more of your phone calls, your comments on Twitter, and on our Blog Talk Radio chat room, and on Facebook. The phone number you can call is 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776. We're going to WrestleMania. I don't think that's a secret, but we're having a big party right before the WWE Hall of Fame, and there's some interesting things lined up for that party. And the many of you who have RSVP'd are in for a series of special treats. We'll talk more about some of those things. We'll talk more about some of those things when we come back here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
WAUK Jackson. Get Milwaukee sports all day long on 540 ESPN.
I was serious about Linda's pickup line.
What have you found, intern Tillman? Okay, maybe it's a revised version. I don't recall this. I didn't watch that organization very much.
Who is this?
Mega Mix version.
What? The what off your face? What is this song?
Alex Wright.
Is this
No,
Wunder King?
It's not. There's no way. There's no chance.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, you know what? I bet if you play it backwards.
What it's tagged as.
What? My headphones cannot be working right. I'm not hearing everything. You know, I bet if you play it backwards, it's the Dash and Cody Rhodes theme song.
Stop that right now. You stop that right now. No, if you play it backwards, it's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com and on Blog Talk Radio. Damian Nelson here along with the Kaz.
Sounds like.
David Octavius, the Tiberius, the Hall of Famer hero. And Linda, you've been chuckling over there ever since SportsCenter. What the heck's going on? Lovely Linda Kay, our social media diva.
Thanks, David, here for the...
Yep, you see what I mean now when I talk about how I have to follow him with a mop. And mop up his message.
I'm reading here. I'm
like the guy at the end of the parade.
We need some love music.
You know,
in the
I'm trying
background.
to control
Sexual chocolate?
Our Twitter comments, or tweets, Facebook comments, Blog Talk, and I'm just getting overwhelmed with a
and
lot
you're
of
busy
comments.
like doing show stuff, and he has all these people sending you horrible pickup lines.
It's love.
What's
baby.
the best of the bunch? What's
we
out
need
there?
we need some love music while she reads.
What are people saying to try to get into the sweet and sexy suite?
Dude, love.
I want to listen. Hey, Linda, do you know karate? Because your body is kicking.
How about
Nice.
They must have seen the last YouTube video. There we go. Better late than never, you know? The look of disgust on her face is amazing right now.
We need a camera in here right
Oh,
now.
my gosh.
There's got to be some good ones.
Yeah, don't read that one. That one's uncalled for.
I like this one. If I could date you, I'd put you in a garden and put your lips, or your,
You can't even say it, and where it was going, that doesn't sound all that radio friendly.
Never mind. Let's talk about.
So let's
impact.
see. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, we've told people how to text you and hit you on your hip, and now they can. They're. What does the winner get? The person with the best pickup line? A night with Linda Kay? A date.
Well, she'll be at the pre-show party for the Hall of Fame.
There you go. 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's in Atlanta. Great place, by the way. We're going to be in the Lincoln Lounge at Stats. It's a free meetup, a free party for all of you great fans who are going to be in town for WrestleMania 27 to come and be a part of.
What lounge?
The Lincoln Lounge.
John Wilkes Booth going to be there?
As in the vehicle, a proud sponsor of Stats, the great facility that is hosting our event on WrestleMania weekend.
It is a great place.
Linda, what's your favorite drink?
A lot.
There you go.
There you go.
See?
I know where you can get a bottle of that.
That is the way to get into Linda's heart. Jägermeister.
RSVP for that event on our Facebook page, by the way. On our Facebook page, by the way. Linda, we'll just finish this because these two are inappropriate. On our Facebook page, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report, that's where you can RSVP to be a part of that party. Now, you can still come if you don't have a chance to go to that page and RSVP, but we really want to make sure we give an accurate number to Stats so that people can be a part of the event and that we can have the best possible experience. Now, David Hero, I understand that in addition to some PWR swag, some stuff we're going to be giving away, including a taping of a fan interaction version of the Social Media Center with Kaz and Linda.
Oh, my gosh.
Going to be getting some fans on camera to air on our special WrestleMania Sunday episode of the Pro Wrestling Report.
So someone gets to make a video with Linda and the Kaz.
Yes. And we're certainly not going to we're not going to spill anything, but there's been a lot of talk from a lot of people who might be stopping by Stats on their way to the Hall of Fame Saturday night.
Yeah. We'll announce it next week. No. You know what?
We're not going to announce
it. You don't want to say who's going to be there?
I like surprises. Maybe we can release one name.
Okay.
Next week.
We'll do that on primetime this week.
All right. Intern, write that down, please, so you can make sure it's in the run sheet because David tends to forget things. Anyways, that's at Stats WrestleMania weekend. Sweet and Sexy is sold out, and we want to thank the fans from 11 different states who are going to be joining us in our suite at WrestleMania 27. 11 different states.
That's amazing.
And some people who weren't even going to go to WrestleMania are now going to be a part of Sweet and Sexy, and we really appreciate that. It's going to be a great time in that suite at the Georgia Dome. We're going to be doing the same thing for WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida. So stay tuned for information on that. But it's going to be a fun weekend, a tremendous weekend. I'll be in Atlanta all week and getting ready for you all you divas to arrive just before showtime on Saturday. And it's going to be a great time.
That's hurtful.
What?
That's hurtful.
What is?
Calling Frank a diva.
The work I have to do to make you all look good? Yeah, I know it's hurtful.
Yes. And
I don't have to do
no
much for
jeans at the party, okay?
There is a dress code.
Mm-hmm. Well, for us.
Now you are something else. You're not. No, wear whatever you want as long as it's not spandex.
I don't
the people
wear
out
spandex.
there. To the people out there.
Oh, okay.
Don't be putting them in. Look.
No, wear your PWR show gear.
It's time for Ricardo in Houston here on line 2. You're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report, Ricardo. Go ahead.
Yo, what up, dogs?
What up?
What up? Hi, Linda.
What up?
Rewind. We're irrelevant. You have got a chance right now to totally charm the pants off of Linda. And that's the best line you had?
I don't use pickup lines on girls. They're the ones that usually pick up on me.
Wow. All right.
Without the confidence.
I know how that goes, believe you me.
Well, Damien Nelson, I've seen you. I don't think you know how it goes.
Wow. Hey, I wrote the book.
He also has his finger on the cutoff button. You better make it go.
Yeah, sure, Kaz. I've got my finger on the cutoff button.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kaz, you psycho.
Anyways, Ricardo, what do you have?
I'm just messing with you, man. But anyways, Raw tonight was very, very bland to me. Bored, and honestly, bored the crap out of me tonight. I was more interested in watching Dancing with the Stars than watching Jericho on there.
How did Jericho do?
He was pretty good.
You did great, I thought.
He was pretty good. One of the judges thought he sucked, but I thought he was pretty good.
There's always that one judge.
Yeah. Bounce.
Yeah, their version of Simon Cowell. But I wasn't going to waste my time with this company, but what is up with Bully Ray? Is he going to step up and be the next TNA champion?
Oh, you're going out of order.
No, we're actually going to move into talking about Impact, and I got to say, one of the breakout stars or one of the standouts from Impact last week was Bully Ray.
Oh, come on. Be serious. Who cares about Bully Ray?
Listen.
Come on.
Listen.
Oh, he's hot and he's saying it.
Listen. I'm just saying. From the beginning to the end of that program with the whole thing with AJ Styles, he showed how great a heel he is. I mean, how could you not have hated him for what he did to poor AJ?
He hated him before he got in the ring.
I could care less what he did to AJ. I've seen Bully Ray for about 15 years. I don't want to see him in the world title picture now or TNA title, whatever the hell you call it.
Is it because of his haircut? Is that what it is?
What?
Is it because you don't like his haircut?
No, it's not it at all.
Here's what I did, though, as the bigger fan. I got around the fact that it was Bully Ray, and I just watched the segment unfold. I watched and just enjoyed the wrestling. Well, the wrestling program, because there wasn't much wrestling on Impact. But enjoyed it, and I said, wow, this is actually very well executed, and Bully Ray is doing his part and pulling it off very well.
Well, they couldn't get anybody else in their roster but Bully Ray. Whatever. I mean, I just think it's...
Ricardo, you're not happy with this, are you?
I just think it's stupid. You got Anderson is probably your best guy on that roster. I mean, give him the shot. Tell you, what the hell are you wasting your time pushing Bully Ray for? He's not going to draw any money. He's not going to give you ratings.
That's a good point.
Well, here's why they probably put Bully Ray in there. He's the only heel with credibility that Hogan can put with Immortal. Because now he has the two security guards, Gunner, the new TV champion. Gunner and Murphy.
Sure.
And then
maybe he's the new TV champion.
And then he has Rob Terry and Matt Hardy.
Think about this, though. You had those three in a match to determine who the new TV champion would be.
Yeah.
Those three. Where in Fortune,
trying to get somebody over.
In Fortune, you've got 3 of the 4 with titles. Why wouldn't you have just made it so AJ could have won that match and given Fortune all belts?
Because they took AJ out.
Well,
they structured him out
eventually.
Well, just bring in Abyss. I mean,
stay tuned. Be careful what you wish for.
I know they killed him, but they killed RVD on how many months ago, and he came back 3 weeks later.
And they've buried Undertaker at least a dozen times in the last 15 years.
Yeah, but who cares? That's the Undertaker, though. He's a legend. I mean, come on. You're comparing...
I never compared anybody, did I? Not at all.
Don't compare the situation.
Don't get hot.
The
situation was brutal last week on the Donald Trump thing. So we'll never talk about him.
He was the worst one on there. I swear to God, he was horrible.
Don't swear to God.
Oh, okay. I'll swear to myself. He was
there
horrible.
You go.
Hash mark horrible. just like TNA. Hash mark horrible.
Wow. All right, Ricardo from Houston, thank you very much for that call.
Houston has a problem.
I want to talk about TNA Impact from last week. I got to say this. TNA coming off the stink of a pay-per-view that was known as Victory Road. And I think we should report that they have offered everyone who ordered Victory Road via their website, I believe 6 months, 3 months free of TNA On Demand, which is a nice, at least, effort to make good on and acknowledging. Actually, they blamed it on the fact that they typically want their pay-per-views to go a full 3 hours, and this one didn't. So since they shorted the fans can get this for free, blah, 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 blah.
I thought some fans were happy it was less than 3 hours.
Coming off that, this past Thursday's Impact, I thought was a very effective show. We'll talk about that in great detail when we come back. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
There we go. Now we got it. Alex Wright, the Wonderkind,
who at one point beat Triple H on WCW.
Tara
really?
Yes.
Tara Rising.
It's on YouTube out there.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Alex Wright. Good Lord.
Thank you, Gabriel Guzman, for that. Justin.
Thank you, interns, for finding the right version.
You know what's funny is ever since we mentioned Disco and Alex Wright,
we didn't mention the damn
thing. They've become a lot more popular.
Well, Frank has influence.
He's connected.
Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. I want to remind everybody listening to us live on Blog Talk Radio right now that you should favorite and follow the show. Never miss an episode and always be alerted, including all of our exclusive and special coverage happening during the week of WrestleMania, which is next week, by the way. So be sure to follow and favorite us on Blog Talk Radio.
It's a big day next Monday.
The 28th. It's going to be a big show.
It is.
TNA Impact last week. The opening segment, very long, but TNA had a lot of explaining to do.
It was a 2-break segment last week.
But they had a lot of explaining to do. And I think that in general, I'm not saying I loved it, in general, I think they handled it very well, resetting a lot of stuff in TNA.
They threw Jeff Hardy under the bus.
But they absolutely did. But, David, didn't they need to? Didn't they need to?
Or just don't even acknowledge it and go forward.
Here's what I was thinking. And the way I think, and Dave, we talked about this, they should have started Impact, was an on-air apology, a sincere on-air apology from Dixie, Eric, or Hulk about what happened at the pay-per-view.
But then they're saying wrestling's fake.
Okay, like Vince did in '97, where he said, we're not going to fool you with good guy, bad guy anymore. We're going to bring you entertainment. How's it different?
Because it's different. Because they're acknowledging, they would then publicly acknowledge that their main event star was geeked out of his mind.
Here's the one thing that I thought of while watching that segment, and I didn't watch it till yesterday because I was out of town.
Viva.
It got me thinking, how many people really know what happened with Jeff Hardy? You know what I'm saying? How many of the people watching the pay-per-view really knew that there was more to the story than Sting beat him real quick?
Because TNA is a lot more of the smarter wrestling fans.
And especially the people ordering their pay-per-views.
Yeah, or they watch it online. Well, they do. There's a lot of streams out there.
Well, I think what some people do now is they look at the time, that the actual time of the evening when the last match starts. And normally they end about quarter to the hour, and they think, okay, this should go about 15 minutes or so. That thing to go, 2 minutes, whatever it was, it just...
Well, but it didn't start till, 9:35, 9:40? They didn't end, substantially earlier than they do normally. So it was a little weak excuse saying we're doing this because, we didn't give you the full 3 hours of pay-per-view. They've had pay-per-views that have ended short of 3 hours before. So does that mean every time they don't go 3 hours?
But they've never had, to my recollection, they've never had a main event just be 2 minutes long.
Fair point. The opening segment, though, with Sting, Hogan, Bischoff, Anderson, who was hilarious, by the way, calling Hogan Terrence, which was great. And
that wasn't written either. That was complete ad-lib.
And Fortune just really could be one of the best groups going in wrestling right now, if not the best group. I don't know what happened.
They're the most talented.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the look. Somehow or another, it's a very well-rounded group, and it works very well for them. And it wasn't until last week that it clicked with me. I'm like, wow, that's a pretty good faction.
Mm-hmm.
But having them involved, and even Bully Ray, as I talked about earlier, I was entertained, and I was pleased with the opening segment of Impact. Gentlemen, your thoughts on, as you said, David Hero, a 2-commercial segment, a very long segment. I think it might have gone 20 minutes in its entirety. Jeff Hardy was indeed thrown under the bus. I feel they needed to do that. They might have spent a little bit too much time in that particular aspect of it, but I thought it was something they needed to do. But overall, your thoughts on how last week's Impact was kicked off and the direction that they moved in from there with Bully Ray, Fortune, AJ Styles specifically, and Anderson.
I just think it's kind of odd that every time Hogan or Bischoff's in the ring and out comes Sting, then out comes Ken, then out comes RVD, then out comes somebody else.
It's a party.
It's too much. It's like develop the one guy and let him get his point across without having RVD involved and Sting and Hogan and Bischoff and now Bully Ray. There's just way too many people in this dance. That's just my take on it.
But ultimately, I think at the end of the night, everybody who was in that ring had greater story development. I don't mean greater, better. I mean had more story development after that segment that thus made that segment make sense. It provided the foundation.
Don't you think that those 4 or 5 guys are getting too much TV time right now?
I don't think so.
I think so. And I think what some of and the other caller, and I forgot his name, I'm not going to blame Bully Ray. I think he's doing what he can. But I think they could have focused on somebody else.
Bully Ray did a great job.
I know.
If you can get beyond the point,
I'm saying he did a good job.
Don't raise your voice.
If you can get beyond the point that it's Bully Ray, I think you could appreciate it a lot more. I'm just saying.
Bully Ray does a great job at what he does.
Absolutely.
He's a great antagonist.
And
he's believable.
Somebody else. Right. That's the key. Right there, David. Believable. He is believable in that role.
Mm-hmm. Even though they killed him off on the pay-per-view.
Right.
I mean, he's beating up kids and putting people through tables, and then Tommy Dreamer beats him.
Let's go back to the phone.
Takes away all of his heat. That's why he had to kill AJ Styles. What's so funny?
Let's go to line 3. Martin in Minnesota, you're live.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello,
how you doing, Martin?
I'm sorry, guys. I thought I lost you. I'm sorry. So, I got a couple of things. First off, I think we got my 2 cents in about this whole Jeff Hardy deal, and I'm hoping, I hope that this actually turns out to be some blessing in disguise, where this actually becomes a wake-up call for everyone, for TNA, for Jeff Hardy to get their act together, and not only will they somehow survive all this will somehow make them stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's the case, but on the other hand, I still see the worst-case scenario about all this, and, well, it involves the word defunct in it, so...
Well, I did hear somebody say that TNA may have a year or less left if they continue at this pace with not what you're necessarily seeing on TV, but the situations that lead to situations like we saw at Victory Road.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess like anything else, we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess. But I also have a question. I was wondering if we can go back to a WWE question. Is it too late?
Oh, go right ahead, Martin.
All right.
10 seconds.
All right, with WrestleMania coming up, I just want to know, in your guys' opinion, what has so far been the best WrestleMania and the worst WrestleMania?
Worst is easy. 11.
What was the headliner on that one?
That was LT Bam Bam, and not because of that was it the worst. It just, it was in a mall.
That's right.
It literally was. It was in a mall, and it just wasn't. It didn't
really.
The Hartford Civic Center is in a mall.
Oh, okay.
And that's where WrestleMania emanated from, and they had technical issues, and they went in a very unique direction with the national anthem. And Salt and Peppa was there, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
What a man!
Yeah, I thought that was the worst. And before, so we don't have to hold you on the line here, Martin. Why don't you share with us your best and worst WrestleMania so far, and we'll continue around the room when we're done with you.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't seen every WrestleMania, so I can only go on what I saw. But the one that I enjoyed the most was 14, I guess, because that had a bunch of big things happen to it.
DX rated.
Huh?
DX rated.
Yep. With the whole Tyson thing, Austin's big WWE title win, bunch of good matches. I'd say so far of all I've seen, 14's been my favorite.
All right. And how about your worst?
Tough
to say.
Huh? I'm sorry?
Tough to say.
Yeah. I'd say,
just go with 11.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
It's universally selected as probably the worst WrestleMania.
Also, I don't know. People, I always thought 11 and 9 were most commonly you've seen.
9 was a great Mania. Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. The debut of JR in WWE. Chloroform. Hogan wins the title.
There's
out of nowhere. It was the rise of Shawn Michaels. Sherry and Luna got into just a knockdown drag out. I challenge you on 9. I thought 9 was a good show.
Okay, it's just that's the one I've heard brought up a lot. So
all right. Well, Martin, thank you very much for that call. We'll go around the room now. Frank, if you had to pick your worst WrestleMania off the top of your head.
11 right off the bat. But there were pieces of WrestleMania, so it's hard to just pick a number.
As a whole.
The show
as a whole,
yeah,
11 certainly in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the best one for me is 3. I still will always remember that one the most.
Hogan and Andre. For me, my favorite was Hogan and Rock. Was that 17 or 18?
18. One Toronto. Skydo.
Yeah, that was tremendous. Hands down, best one.
Mm-hmm. How about worse?
Honestly, I don't remember all of them. So, I mean, I'll just say 11.
You're politicking over there. That's what you're doing.
I'm not. Okay, what, 9?
No, we just went over that. Go with 11.
Go 7.
8. 7.
8.
8. The Return of the Warrior.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Pina Monsoon. 8 was great.
There's no right answer to this.
Half black, half white, Rowdy Piper. Macho Man versus
12 was awful.
Savage versus 12 was great. The Warrior came back. Shawn Michaels, a boyhood dream became a reality for the first time in WWE.
It was nothing like 6, though.
6 was awesome.
The first international WrestleMania, the Skydome,
Hogan
Toronto, Canada. Rhythm and Blues.
Damian Pedia over here. I'm telling you, he has every WrestleMania. Linda, what's yours?
Iron Man match.
Which one? The 12?
12.
Ask Damien. He knows everyone.
Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, it was called at the time. It was Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart. Ultimate Warrior versus Triple H also that night.
Piper and Goldust.
The Piper Goldust street fight match.
I love that match.
By the way, I've been reading Goldust's book, Crossroads. I did a whole chapter on Cody, by the way. A very good read, and I recommend picking it up. Jericho's book is next, Undisputed. If once I can get around to reading that, but a very good book, Crossroads. And speaking of WrestleManias, WWE last week released a DVD titled The True Story of WrestleMania. And I got to say this. Having seen it on Tuesday, it has to be, of the WWE DVDs that I've seen, the most real, the most honest, and probably the most revealing WWE DVD release that they've ever done. We always talk about how generally somebody gets buried or something gets glossed over on these WWE DVD releases. Not the case in this one. They went places I really didn't expect them to go, and on a lot of their DVDs, I would say Starrcade specifically, where they skipped huge gaps of time over the course of the events, they, in great detail, covered each and every WrestleMania event all the way up through 26 last year with stuff you just have to see. And that's available, obviously, at your DVD providers and also on Netflix, including streaming. It certainly is a must-see and a must-pick-up. It's a great DVD. And the rest of the panel will watch it soon. You guys didn't get your copies? I thought you had an advanced copy from Trips.
No, I got the chauffeur one, yeah.
The chaperone.
Same thing. What's the difference? Someone drives you around.
Adam in Columbus is waiting on line 2. You two can be on the phones. The number 414-276-3776. We're all over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776. I think in Twitter, somebody just shared with us their favorite WrestleMania. Linda, I see you're trying to get my attention over there.
WrestleMania 17? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right.
That's all you, baby.
Triple H Drivers? I'm trying to get the name right. Okay. Saying WrestleMania 17 was the best Mania, in my opinion. The TLC match, Taker, Triple H, Austin Rock, and the gimmick Battle Royal was a great show.
Yeah, that was a great Mania. See? That's actually the Mania you can't find. Try to find 17 on DVD, and you found it on eBay, it's over $100.
Wow.
I don't know what the story is behind that, but it is a very sought-after show.
Where was it at?
Astrodome, Houston, Texas, set the all-time attendance record for the Astrodome.
I have that.
And it had been there for 30 years.
$100 on eBay?
You have 17 on DVD?
Absolutely.
Yep, well, here we go. We're going to take a time out. When we come back, more on TNA Impact, more of your phone calls, and so much more. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
You know, we talked earlier about WrestleManias and Iron Man some moments. When the Ultimate Warrior came back in 1992 at WrestleMania 8, I think that still lives with me as probably one of the most markish moments in professional wrestling, because it was way before the internet. It wasn't spoiled. He had vanished a year before. and came down to save Hogan. I just remember popping big time for that. When he came running down that long aisle, hit that corner.
That place just erupted.
Yeah.
See, and for me, I'm thinking, what the hell happened to his hair?
Of course, see? He had gotten it cut. Well, and of course, that was when the rumors were that he had died and they replaced him with another warrior. That's when those started. So I remember watching it at my Aunt Jean's house because she had access to the pay-per-views. And, they're like, that's not him. That's not him.
Well, he was off
That's
the gas.
somebody else. Gas?
Steroids.
Prices were pretty low at that point.
See, you know what? And here's the funny thing. A lot of people don't know that when they said that
Ultimate Warrior?
Yeah, when he died, he had not just all the different supplements he was taking at the time.
Got flushed out of his system.
He just changed.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't be nodding your head at me like that. It's the truth.
Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report. Here on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com. Damian Nelson here along with Linda Kay, the Kaz, and David Octavius and Tiberius Hero, Octavius. We'll just call you that for now. We're talking about Impact from last week, and we already talked about the opening segment. But, I think there were some other fun things that happened on Impact, including the formation of LAX version 2 with Hernandez along with Sarita and Rosita, who, by the way, in case you didn't notice, because they never really mentioned it on Impact, they won the Knockouts tag titles at the pay-per-view on Sunday. And this random person who was the fan who ran in the ring at Victory Road, the quote-unquote fan, now a foursome, along with Hernandez at the helm. This could be very interesting because Hernandez is that dominant force that could be reckoned with in TNA.
Okay, who's going to talk for the four of them?
Hernandez did an okay job.
Somebody's hitting on my headset.
Maybe this other guy can talk. Maybe they'll bring Hector back into the mix, or maybe Sarita.
You know what? The girls can talk. I was impressed.
You don't think Hernandez is a good talker?
Not really. Mm-mm.
All right.
Well, he's okay. He's not great. He's not going to talk me into the building. So now, does this mean Matt Morgan has to find
something to do?
2 knockouts and a dude?
Perhaps.
And then they got a match.
So then who do we pick? If we had to pick someone to team with Matt Morgan, who is it?
Rob Terry.
No, I can't do that. You're trying to build something
can't
here.
do that.
I mean, do you bring back who was the Gladiator kid?
Magnus?
Magnus.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I was thinking of, remember Rob Terry was latched on to him and Doug Williams?
Mm-hmm.
And now
Where's
who are
Doug
you
Williams?
seeing every week? Yeah. Who are you seeing every week? Rob Terry, not Magnus or Doug Williams.
You know what?
The two talented. Well, and Williams is very talented. Magnus.
But maybe it's cheaper to use Rob Terry on TV right now than the other guys.
Could be. I don't know is Terry living domestically or overseas.
I don't
know. I know Magnus and Williams are.
How would I know that?
Call him up.
You got your spreadsheet that has all the other facts and news and stuff on there?
How you become host of the year.
You are the hottie. No question about it.
Linda, how are you?
The look of terror on her face from all those pickup
She's got
lines.
a lot of, because she's got a job to do over here, and you thwarted that.
It's all about entertainment value.
For who?
Me?
Let's go to the phone lines. Line 2, Adam in Columbus.
Hey,
you're
I
live.
know what works. We're going to be in Atlanta next week. Come on.
Adam from Columbus, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. How you doing tonight?
Tremendous. How are you?
I'm all right. Hey, sorry to interrupt you guys' TNA talk, but I just wanted to make a comment on this year's WWE Hall of Fame. Doesn't it seem to you that this is the most underwhelming Hall of Fame in recent?
Absolutely. When they
Abdullah the Butcher.
When they showed the class, I was like, wow, this is Hershey Kisses.
Sonny, Abdullah the Butcher, Drew Carey.
It's bad.
Bullet Bob Armstrong, Shawn Michaels.
They
of course.
had to rush Shawn Michaels. They did.
Yeah.
With it being this underwhelming, doesn't it almost seem to you that the WWE was banking a little too hard on having Sting be this WWE, did to come in, do the WWE Hall of Fame, and do this WCW class, because this Hall of Fame that they're putting out there, outside of Shawn Michaels, is completely, I hate to trash any of them, but it's garbage.
Well, don't believe what you read, because
obviously
there clearly wasn't a plan for a WCW class, and we've been waiting for one name. Which name is that seemingly should be inducted? You keep talking about it, Dave Hero, Arn Anderson?
Well, you would think Arn would go in.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much they were wrapped around Sting, by the way. But, they need a headliner every year. And this year the headliner is Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. And I think Sonny has a lot of merit to it. I think a lot of people are going to be intrigued by Abdullah the Butcher.
Okay. Damien, when Shawn Michaels' kids are old enough to read and they go through the Hall of Fame program and they see their dad, and they're going to see Abdullah the Butcher
with a fork.
They're going to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan with his 2x4. You're going to see, you're going to see Sonny.
I know you want me.
Pull up Bob Armstrong. And who else is in there? Yeah, and Drew Carey. Come on.
I don't think the guy last year's class, in my opinion, was much worse. There was no reason to go to the Hall of Fame last year, in my opinion. We didn't go last year, in my opinion.
And also for the celebrity wing, don't you think they're reaching at the bottom of the barrel for Drew Carey? I mean, he was at one event, and he eliminated himself in the 01 Royal Rumble.
Adam, you're digging too far. Remember, what is WWE excellent at? What do we call it? The machine. It's all about marketing. It's all about spin. It's all about promotion.
And Drew Carey's ratings.
Yep.
TMZ loves him.
Well, of course, they're about ratings because, they're not a wrestling company anymore.
They're an entertainment
Funny you
company.
should mention that, and we'll move into the next story. Adam from Columbus, thank you very much for calling in. An article was posted. I can't remember exactly where, but it was on a mainstream media outlet about, I believe it was either Snooki or Drew Carey, working with WWE, and the headline read, Pro Wrestling. Well, a WWE publicist apparently called this reporter and contacted this reporter via email as well, asking that they refer to WWE as an entertainment company because they are not pro wrestling. Now, none of this is surprising. None of this is shocking. Right. None of this isn't stuff they've said before. Yet, apparently things got a little heated between this publicist and this reporter. He refused to retract the story when they asked him to, if he wouldn't change it from pro wrestling to entertainment. His point was very valid. Well, there were wrestling matches on the show, so it's pro wrestling, isn't it? But the Internet is all in an uproar over this about how WWE is saying they're not wrestling. Haven't we known that for the last 10 years at least?
Yeah, they got the F out a long time ago.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly. I don't get the big deal. I see the interesting perspective on it that some fans who may not have been exposed to that period may now see. But, it's not a big deal. Now, the fact that this got very public and that this guy chose to share his information about this conversation with this WWE publicist is what makes it a bit unique. But
the guy made a name for himself. He made a bigger story.
There you go. That's just the whole story right there.
And it seemed, for the most part, I think he was really in shock that this conversation was happening. And that they literally asked and were hounding him for a retraction.
On a weekly basis.
You could be replaced.
Okay.
Just like that. Snap a finger. One phone call. One email.
That's all? Okay. Go ahead.
I'm going ahead. I'm still talking about Impact. David Hero.
You've been talking about Drew Carey for the last 5 minutes.
Adam from Columbus had questions about the Hall of Fame, and then we moved into talking about that story that we had teased earlier on about the WWE.
You know what's going to be the best part about the Hall of Fame? Is seeing
Cody
the people
smacking you?
No. That'll never happen. Is seeing the people that are going to be on the floor with us. Kevin Nash sipping his wine. Road Dogg Jesse James will be there. X-Pac. It has potential to be the craziest floor in the history of the Hall of Fame.
I just got my. I know you had your seat assignment for a few weeks. I just got mine. I couldn't be happier.
Well, of course.
Right next to the
biggest
VP of Corporate Communications.
Is that the big news of the night?
Oh no, that's still to come.
He's going to forget to tell us what that is. We'll have to wait till prime time to hear it.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
Wow, this is vintage, old school. The fans pick the theme here on the Pro Wrestling Report, the Fan Show. We leave it up to you each and every week, contrary to what David Hero wants to do, to pick the theme songs that we're going to use during our live radio broadcast. And that one, Linda, who picked that one?
Nate Seymour. Thank you very much for your Smokin' Guns pick of the night.
Awesome. Thank you very much to all of you who selected themes tonight. I
thought it was kayfabe.
On the show.
You know what I want to do at WrestleMania? I want to get a picture with Linda and Sonny, and that will then become the most downloaded picture.
There you go.
I love Sonny.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. We should do that.
Let's go to our last caller of the night, Devin from Yonkers out in New York. You're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report. Doing tremendous. How are you, Devin?
I'm good. I just want to talk about Triple H and WrestleMania.
Yes.
If this is going to be his last match, don't you think it makes more sense to have maybe one of the younger guys take him out to build stars for the future? Because I think it would be probably perfect for Wade Barrett, since he pretty much lost steam since he got moved to SmackDown.
You know, if you look through the history books and the reputation that Triple H has out there, how many people has he really done much for? I can name one.
Mick Foley. Mick Foley did more for him. Yeah.
Sheamus is really it.
And that was not even that, because he took everything back a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I see your point, but I think from a wrestling fan standpoint, to make it believable, it's got to be somebody the likes of The Undertaker. But remember, though, Rock did it for Brock Lesnar, 2002. Remember when Brock Lesnar won the championship when Rock was on his way out at SummerSlam?
Different, though.
Different, but it was done, and I think that made it that much better for Brock.
Yes, but I mean, made it better for Brock, but I mean, Undertaker, Triple H, we've seen that already. It makes more sense for a business standpoint to build a star for the future.
Who do you think Triple H should lay down for?
And you can't say The Miz or Cody Rhodes.
Well, he wouldn't.
Well, he said Wade Barrett before, right?
Like his physical prowess. I mean, that's the only person I could see going toe-to-toe with Triple H, and Triple H, he might be believable if Wade Barrett beats him.
I'm sorry, I want to say one thing. Triple H did do it for John Cena, WrestleMania 22. I think that's important to note, because nobody thought Cena had a chance in that matchup, and he tapped out at WrestleMania 22
but by
to
then Triple H was now married into the family, and he knew where the money was going to be made.
Here comes the money. Oh.
That's all I got to say about that.
Well, Devin, an interesting point, but I think that it's got to be believable to the fans.
Well,
and right now, a Wade Barrett right now, I don't think he is at the level that he could do that and be believable because of what's happened to him over the last few months.
Well, and also,
thanks for that call, Devin.
Wade Barrett and Triple H is not going to sell tickets.
Correct. Especially for a last match.
Mm-hmm. But that might not be his last match.
I'm going to agree that
you know what? Maybe he pulls a Shawn Michaels and he loses to Taker this year. Then next year comes back and puts the career on the line, and then he'll be 20-0,
which is the number that everyone's saying that he's going to reach.
Well, he should, barring another injury.
What if it's 20? What would not say 25 isn't better than 20?
25 would be like 70 years old.
Well. Back to TNA Impact. David Hero, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to let you answer this. I'm not even going to give my 2 cents on it. What did you think of the Pope segment?
Ridiculous. Come on. That was just dumb. It was dumb. It made no sense. On a show that had 9 minutes of wrestling, that's what you put in there?
That was a 1 commercial segment, too, I believe. If not 2. You know? All right.
Yeah. And you know what? The Pope, I will say this. He did the best he could with what they gave him to work with.
Right. Those people, I don't know if they were supposed to be bad, but the blind, the
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Yeah. That's what it was like. Mm-hmm.
I was thoroughly entertained by the segment. I thought at its foundation, it had a lot of potential. Execution may not have been as best as possible, but I think not Samoa Joe's keeper or his bodyguard or whatever, and the Pope did a fantastic job in that segment.
You mean Kato, the Green Hornet sidekick?
Yes. Oh, that's what you didn't like about it.
Kato.
No, I like Kato. That's funny.
A little superhero bashing.
You know what? They're always going to bash a superhero. We're easy targets.
You're not. What superpowers do you have?
I got the DWHS power, which, has been pretty dead on lately.
Lately?
It's all about what you've done.
Oh, exactly. Wait, no, Victory Road now doesn't count, right? Oh, wait, no, actually it better count because that's the only lately that it's been good.
How was I wrong on Victory Road?
I didn't say you were wrong at Victory Road, but Elimination Chamber didn't quite go your way.
It's how
he booked it, right?
You put your DWHS, and you said that's the way it's going to be.
It should have been that way.
God.
Well, it should have been. It made the most sense.
I can't. You heard my. This is how your side wins because
my side.
You have. That's your superpower. It's some kind of manipulation ray that you just melt the brain of the smarter person in the argument.
Okay, I get it.
And then they just can't do it anymore because the logic that you don't exhibit.
So you're saying you're exhausted?
Physically and mentally, yes.
Gotcha. Are we going to hear you little...
Yeah, is it time?
Oh, my big announcement!
Yeah, there you go.
The history changing...
Almost 2 hours.
That's how you build stuff up, Frank. I created, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantasy sports season. People are picking brackets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I've got my fantasy faction.
Oh, my gosh.
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Wait. Fantasy faction?
Fantasy faction. My fantasy family, if you will.
Oh, forget
the
it.
greatest family in wrestling. The greatest family in wrestling since the Heenan family.
That is blasphemy.
Family in wrestling since the Heenan family. I tell you, these guys are the future of the business, and all they need is the guidance and leadership of somebody with such a great wrestling mind as
I'm retired. I'm done with that kind of stuff.
And in this fantasy season, in this fantasy season, I will take the Nelson family to great new heights. Great new heights.
Tillman, I don't really want to hear this. We waited 2 hours for
you don't have a story.
Fictitious.
Hottie, host of the year.
I would just rather, forget it.
And the list of people in the Nelson family, the fantasy Nelson family.
Frank, it really doesn't matter.
Right, you know what?
No, I got to give the list.
End the show. We'll be back next week.
Oh, no.
We'll be back next week, 9 o'clock, 540 ESPN, ESPNMilwaukee.com. Have a great week, everybody.
WAUK Jackson, Marquette has Milwaukee buzzing. Your Golden Eagles flagship and March Madness home is 540 ESPN.